everyone, Craig Ripley here once again. Welcome to Living Off the Slab. Now today we're going to continue talking about my 60-day trip that I'm going to be embarking upon on June 1st of this year. Today what we're going to talk about is, well, my route. Before I get going in this video, I want to show you a little something, right? This is a little chart that my wife made up for me, right? It has 60 days marked out here, and every day I've been checking one of these off as a countdown for when I'm going to start out on this big trip. Right now we're at 27 days and counting until we head out and hit the road and spend 60 days out there seeing this beautiful country. I originally went over the basic route that I'm going to be taking back in, I don't know, something like January or something of this year. While it was winter up here, I had nothing better to do, so I was busy planning on this trip, right, and getting the route all together. But I realized that some of you are coming into this brand new. You haven't gone back and checked out those videos, so you've been asking me to go over the route. So that's what we're going to do today. Now I'm going to break this up into two parts, right? This first part is going to be my trip from Boston, Massachusetts here all the way out to the LA area, Santa Monica, somewhere around there out in California, and that will take approximately 30 days. The second 30 days is going to be spent going from California up the coast, up PCH, into Oregon, and then we're going to come over into Idaho, and then eventually we'll end up in the Sturgis Rapid City area. And then I will come back home over the top of the Great Lakes, over Lake Superior into Canada, and then back down through Vermont. So that is the basic trip. But since it's so long, it's 60 days, I'm going to break this up, as I said, into two parts. So this first one is going to cover from Boston to LA. So the first part of this trip, I'm going to be heading from Boston down the East Coast through the Smoky Mountains and the Blue Ridge Parkway area. I'm going to stay off of the Blue Ridge Parkway for the most part because I've done that a few times already, and I'm going to try to pick up some of the other roads in that area. Now on this eastern leg of the trip, I'm going to be joined by Stephen and Peter, who went to Alaska with me. They're going to stay with me from Boston all the way down to Maggie Valley, and from there they're going to turn around and they're going to head home. Right? From there, I'm going to continue on by myself. However, I'm also going to end up meeting quite a few of you out there in Maggie Valley as well, and hopefully get to ride with you as well as have a good meal or two. So the first highlight from this eastern leg of the trip is that on day 3 I'm stopping in West Virginia and hoping to hook up with Mario from the Two-Wheeled Rider channel. We're planning on meeting and going out to dinner, so again, looking forward to that. One of the highlights of this eastern leg of the trip is going to be on day 5, where we're going to be going from Marionton, West Virginia at the Day Run Campground. At least that's the plan right now. And we're going to be heading 241 miles down to Damascus, Virginia. On this leg, we're going to be going over some really great twisty roads. The first one is going to be something that is called the Back of the Dragon, which is Virginia 16, right? And that is going to go into the Nebo Mountain Road, and then eventually we're going to end on the Jeb Stuart Highway, which is also known as the Mighty Python, that heads into Damascus, Virginia. Now, while in Damascus, we're going to be staying at the Old Mill Inn, and this is a really great place that Kathy and I spent a night before when we were on one of our trips. And it has a great restaurant down below and even a little bar where you can listen to some live music before hitting the hay and getting ready to head out on the next day. Now, day 6 of this trip is also going to be a great one, right? It's another 240 miles of basically all curves. We're going to start off leaving Damascus, Virginia, and we're going to hit the Snake right away. And then we're going to pick up 321, which is another beautiful road, and make our way down near Little Switzerland, right on the Blue Ridge Parkway, and we're going to pick up 226A. Right, and Peter rode this before and tells me it is just absolutely amazing and extremely technical. From there, we're going to head through the Pisgah National Forest and eventually make our way into Maggie Valley, North Carolina. Then on day 7, we're going to stay in Maggie Valley, and hopefully we're going to meet a bunch of you, right? A lot of my viewers are coming in, and we're going to meet there in Maggie Valley, right? And probably go to the Wheels Through Time Museum, or maybe take a ride around some of the beautiful roads in the area, right? And then finally on day 8, we'll get up, and Peter and Stephen will head back, and I will continue on to Birmingham, Alabama. Now in Birmingham, I'm going to take another day off of the bike and go and visit the Barber Motorsports Museum. I had the opportunity to go here a few years back, and I want to go back again because it's just an absolutely amazing place. Right, so some of you also are going to be meeting me there and, you know, going along to the museum with me and hopefully having a great meal. Then from Birmingham, I'm heading down into Texas, right? I'm going to have the only long day of the trip from Birmingham to Tyler, Texas. It's just under 600 miles, right, where I'm going to stop for a day, and I'm going to visit with my parents there in Tyler, right? And hopefully my brother and sister can come in and see me as well, because they all live in the East Texas area. Then after that, I am going to head down to San Antonio, and then we're going to head across southwest Texas there, and then eventually end up in Las Cruces and Santa Fe, New Mexico, before hitting Durango, Colorado. Now in Durango, I'm going to again take another day off the bike, well, at least a little bit, and we're going to run down to the Mesa Verde National Park, which I think is about 50 miles outside of Durango, and I'm going to see the old cliff dwellings there because I've always wanted to do that, right? And then after that, I'm meeting a couple of viewers again in Durango, and we're going to do the $1 Million Highway, and then we're going to end up in Moab, Utah. Now the plan is to spend 2 nights in Moab, and I'm going to go up and see Arches National Park and Canyonlands National Park while I'm there. And then from Moab, I'm taking a couple of days and heading over to Bryce, where we're going to see Bryce National Park, and then eventually to Zion National Park. Now from Zion, I'm going to do something that you might think is a little strange, and that is I'm going to go up and ride the extraterrestrial highway. I'm going to head up to Rachel, Nevada, which is out in the middle of nowhere, but the reason I want to go there is, again, because it's the extraterrestrial highway right there on the border of Area 51, where supposedly all of the flying saucers and everything are housed and being tested. Right, I'm a fan of Coast to Coast AM, so I like listening to all that kind of stuff, even though I, take it all with a grain of salt, right? I still have always wanted to go there and see this stuff. From Rachel, Nevada, I am going to head to Death Valley, spend the night in Furnace Creek, and then ride through Death Valley and make my way to Big Bear, California. From Big Bear, I'm riding down to Palm Springs through Joshua Tree National Park. I'm going to spend a couple of nights in Palm Springs, just relaxing before I head into LA over the Angeles Crest Highway and hopefully picking up Mulholland Drive and stopping off at the famous Rock Store. Right, in LA then, I will meet my wife and we'll get ready to head out on the second leg of the trip, which is up the California coast and then eventually back towards the east. So once I arrive in LA, I'm going to take a day off of the bike and I'm going to gather all of my camping gear together and ship it back home. And that is because my wife is going to be joining me, so there will not be any more camping along the way. Right? She's going to be with me for the next 16 days to Rapid City, South Dakota, and from there she'll fly home, and I'll just have another week or so left, so I will just hotel it the rest of the way. Right? However, that's for another video, right? We will talk about the highlights of the second leg of the trip, that is from LA all the way back to Boston, next time around. So thanks everybody for watching. If you like what we're doing, please hit the subscribe button, and remember you can support the channel in a number of ways, and those you can find in the description of this video. They include, of course, buying a t-shirt, linking to Twisted Throttle if you're going to buy something from them by going to my website first, or you can also become a Patreon and get some additional content along the way. All right, guys, thanks a lot. We'll talk to you next time.